Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This is Eliyahu and Brother Zephaniah. We're coming to you live on YouTube, streaming live together. And it's Shabbat, and we're celebrating Shabbat, and we're coming to you from Scottsdale, Arizona. This is our new location in Phoenix. We're in Scottsdale, and we just want to greet you, that we greet each other and we express and proclaim the true name of Yahuwah on this program. We are correcting all the pagan words from our lips. As time permits, we slowly purge out these things and we start speaking, especially when we group like this together and we speak the correct words together, and iron sharpens iron, and we learn from each other.
Hallelujah.
We're not offended if you accidentally slip a few words, because we're all coming out and growing together in the pure language of Yahuwah. As it says in Jubilee, it says, and Yahuwah Elohim said, open his mouth and his ear, that he may hear and speak with his mouth, with the language which has been revealed. For it had been ceased from the mouths of all the children of men from the day of the overthrow of Babel. And I opened his mouth and his ears and his lips, and I began to speak with him in Ibrit, in Abri, in the tongue of creation. Hallelujah. Praise Yahuwah. So we thank you for tuning in. Everybody that's tuning in are going to come in later or have to leave. This is a free. We're not offended if you have to leave. And if you tune in later, this is freely come, freely receive, and tune in together. And as to my left of me is Zephaniah, and I am Eliyahu to the right of you. We're going spontaneous, right? We're actually going spontaneous, right? So we didn't prepare nothing, because it's been a journey for us. My wife and I were living in an RV. I was overworking 14 hours a day, 6 days a week. I keep the Shabbat off, but I wore myself off. I ended up in a coma. Brother would go pray over me in Hebrew with his tallit in the hospital to wake me up and get me out of that thing, and commanded them to take me off their little what do they call that stupid machine, brother? Their stupid machine that's killing people.
I can't remember the name of that. It's a death trap. It's a death trap. They had brother in this bed just tied down, and it was
spin
awful.
Around every
it was spin him around so that his because if you stay in one position for too long and your
lungs will get filled.
Right. So this thing was rolling around they had him like a rotisserie in there.
And I got scars on my face now.
I'm sorry.
I got scars on my face now. Where the bed rubbed and made me bleed and put a dent on my face,
it was awful.
13 days.
It was awful.
My wife would come and play worship and sing worship. And when she got tired, she put the music in my ear when I was asleep. And I was aware slightly of what's going on in my ear gate. I can hear. And brother was pray over Hebrew. They couldn't figure him out.
Yeah.
They couldn't figure him out.
They didn't know who I
was. Put his tallit on and go and speak Hebrew and pray over me.
Pray in Hebrew. They didn't understand what I was doing.
What's going on. They just let him. They knew he was my brother. They let him in to the intensive care. And I didn't get back. I didn't get out of the hospital from January to March. Well, in March, I got out. I had to go to a therapy to learn how to walk all over again. I lost so much weight, and my legs were like sticks, and I had no calves, no muscles in my leg. I had to learn how to walk again. I went from a wheelchair to a walker to a cane and a walk.
Wow.
So they will walk me 1 mile, 2 mile, 3 mile.
Hallelujah.
And so it brought me out of there. Now,
hallelujah.
So what happened was, in one of the states I was in, and I'll just share briefly. I'll share more with pictures. How many know Mark Manning? How many know Mark Manning?
Messenger of the Name?
Yeah, Messenger of the Name. He made a video with the DNA and the color code. That the color code of the Father's name, Yod He Uhe, has 4 colors. Our DNA has those numbers and color code in our DNA. All creation has the spoken word into it because he spoke it into being. He created things, created us from minerals, but created animals from protein. Their protein of the earth, we're minerals. We're from the dust. Okay. So I went into a trance when I was in a coma, and I was sitting in a beautiful cave, and it was lit up, and I saw there was a crack, and in the crack was this beautiful waterfall, and the water was green. It was green. It was beautiful out there. It was like the Garden of Eden. It was beautiful and green, and there was water running to me in this cave, and there were 4 messengers sitting in front of me, and they all had 4 wings, not 2 Greek wings. They had 4 wings. They're like living creatures, and each one was different color. Each was different color. When I looked at myself in the reflection of the water, I was purple. Okay. And I had 4 wings too. That was insane when I saw that. I had 4 wings in my spirit being, and they had 4 wings, 2 on each side. Okay. And they looked different. And I said, right away, I said, I smelled, I can hear, and I can scent. So I wasn't a dream. I was transfigured to another location. So I said, who are you? I rebuke you. Who are you? You come. Are you for Yahuwah? And they said, they smiled. They cracked up because I was testing the spirit. It says in the scripture to test every spirit, right? It says that. Test the spirit. Whatever appears to you, whatever talks to you. And the one that was wearing gold kind of smiled at me because I was being obedient to Torah, right? And he said, we are from Yahuwah. We are the elements that hold things together. We're neither small nor large, they said. And I shook when he said, we are from Yahuwah. We are from Yahuwah. We're with you. Don't worry about it, you know. And I said, and then I looked around. He gave me living waters to drink, and I drank it. Okay. He like passed it from his hand to mine, and my hand was like a cup, and I'm drinking the living waters. And I said, am I dead? And am I going back? Am I going to the place of the middle court, you know, which is the garden? They call the garden in the book of Yeshar, the book of Jubilee, they call the garden. Am I in the middle place? And he says, no, you're not dead. And then he looked at me, and they all looked at me, and they said it together. You shall not die, but live. You shall not die, but live. And I said, boo. And I felt my body tremble. And I felt strong in my body.
Hallelujah.
I felt strong. Now, people were telling me I'm making noises. I'm making all kinds of noises when I was in coma. trying to talk or moan or whatever. I believe those were the conversations. And so I asked them a bunch of questions. I started talking to them, right? Which I'm not going to share that today, because that's another time. I'm going to show the pictures of the color code of Yod He Uhe. But they said they're the elements. Now, I haven't seen Mark Manning's video. It came out when I was in a coma. Okay? So it wasn't in my brain or what I saw. It wasn't something in memory. Those colors, okay? And they said they're the elements. Well, the elements is what we're made of. You know, we're made of elements with the DNA of the Father's in us, right? So I woke up. When I woke up, I was out of coma. Brother told him to pull the plug. He said, get that thing off him, put him on oxygen. And he was sitting beside me. He was sitting beside me because he would come every day, back and forth. Okay, if he wasn't working, he was beside me, and my wife was beside me. And they were beside me. I didn't know who was there until I woke up. Okay, and I was in intensive care. They moved me out of the box. They call it the box. And we found out most people die in that box. Most people don't live long.
Make it.
They don't make it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Father brought me back to life.
Hallelujah.
I'll be out of that.
Hallelujah.
Because I said,
that's a powerful testimony, brother. I was there. I witnessed it.
Yeah,
I witnessed it. I mean, you know, if you would have walked in that room, you would have said, okay, he's gone. He's just there. Once they do that plug, he's gonna go. He's not gonna. His body's not gonna live. So, you know, they basically had it. So basically, that machine, it breathes for you.
Was keeping me alive.
Well, it breathes for you. It does everything for you. So you lose. You know, you lose a huge percentage of within 2 weeks. You lose like 25% of your muscle, and you know, you become like your body regresses. You know,
they put you in the machine, and everything coming out of your body goes through a machine.
I'll put it,
and everything going in your body, your arteries. You know, they're feeding you,
right?
Feeding you. So
I'll put it to you like this: the lady there explained. One nurse explained to me. She said, "Sorry about that."
That's all right.
She said, we had a guy, a Dallas Cowboy football player, who we put him on that machine, and when he got out of it, and he was in there. Now this is a young guy, big, muscular, working out every single day. Football player at the peak condition. When he came out of that machine, he could barely walk. He was like a baby. They had to hold his arms and walk with him. Okay, now brother is a 60-something-year-old man, way past his prime. So you can imagine what, you know, it's just a miracle. It's just a miracle that he's here with us right now. It's literally a miracle. Y'all worked it out. Y'all worked the miracle. Satan tried to take him out. This is for real. Satan is going around like a roaring lion, seeking who he can destroy.
And see, when I was in that place with these 4 cherubims, that's all I can call them, because they'd have 6 wings, they have 4 wings. And of course, we know 2 wings is all Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. That's Greek mythology from the city of Alexandria, where they learned Greek art, painting, how to paint, and then went back to Vatican, right? So that's all Greek art, or the Renaissance is all Greek art, Roman art. So 2 wings is not scriptural, you know, because everybody sees no wings on a person. Abraham, Father Abraham, he saw no wings on his messengers that greeted him before they went to Sodom and Gomorrah. But I saw 4 wings on them. And when I looked at the reflection, I saw wings on me. So it was probably my spiritual man, my spiritual being. You know, I saw the reflection of what I looked like in the spirit realm. And I looked a little different. Okay. So, and I was bigger. So that's great. But yeah, we're going to have different garments. But, you know, when I saw the garden between the hole, the crack, beautiful garden with a waterfall, and the waterfall was coming into me where I was sitting with these guys. There was a black, dark shadow being walking back and forth. A black shadow being. I already knew who it was. That was Hashatan trying to collect me. That if I died, he was going to try to collect me and fight for me, my body, or do something wicked or whatever. But the unmerited favor through the blood of the Mashiach and having the mark of Yahuwah upon me kept a shield that he can't touch me. You know what I mean? Now, I also thought maybe it's that nurse or that doctor outside. I'm seeing his body go over my eyes. But who was the doctor? One of those doctors was like the devil. She wanted to get $65,000 and kill you. Put everybody under that machine, take you out, witch doctor. And they collect 65 grand per head if you die in their hospital under that machine. So they're making ching. You know what I mean? And when I was laying in that bed, and a pharmaceutical doctor come to me, and he said, "You're gonna be here for many months, man. Oh, I'm gonna get out of here." No, you're not. You can't even walk. You're gonna be here many walks. And I looked at him, and I said, I told him, I said, I didn't rebuke him openly like I usually do to people. I just told him, I said, my belief and trust in whom I believe in, the Creator. I have emunah, and I'm coming out of this bed, I'm coming out of this chair, and I'm walking again. You don't speak negative into me because of your education. I don't. In my mind, I'm coming out. And all the nurses said, he rapidly, brother and sisters, they tied me to the bed.
Yeah, they tied him to the bed.
They tied me to the bed. You know why? My upper body was strong. I would throw pillows on the floor, and I'll pull the bed thing down. I'll pull myself and make myself get on the floor, and my legs would give out underneath me. I said, I'm going to walk.
Yeah.
I'm not tired of this bed. Wheelchair. I'm coming. And I forced myself. And my upper body was getting strong because I was going like that, pulling myself to sit sideways because I didn't want sores in the back of my back. You know what I mean? Laying like that all the time. And so I had oxygen, so I pulled myself. And then the machines would go off and they would run in. So they tied me up. And on the second day, they came to change some bandages and stuff, some things. And I stole their little bandage knife. I put it under my leg. I stole it.
Brother was trying to make the getaway.
He
wanted to get out of there.
This is ex-con. He said, we're strapped to the bed. I'm coming out of that hole. And I stole the little bandage thing. And the next night, when everybody was going, I cut myself, I cut those things out so I could move around. They ain't going to tie me up to no bed, like a criminal.
Yeah, when I came in the next day, they said, they kept telling your brother, he's fighting us and he's trying to get out of bed and he wants to get out of here. I was like, yeah, well, wouldn't you want to get out of here too? Yeah, I was like, yeah, he's going to do that. He's going to try to get out of here. And then, we want to take him out of here. We don't want him in here no more.
I finally told him, I said, look, after I was working around, I'm walking around, not walking, but I'm in a wheelchair and they're taking me to therapy. I said, get me out of this hospital. If you don't take me to a therapy where I can get some weights and pulleys, you know what I mean? I know how to exercise. I was a bodybuilder. I know how to get myself back in shape. If you don't get me out of here, my brother's coming with a wheelchair and he's checking me out. I'm out of here.
That was the plan. That's what we were going to do.
So
that's what we were going to do.
They panicked. That's what they did.
Right. Yeah. We were going to do that right before that lady put him on what is that machine called, sister?
Respirator. That's the one that Trump said that they paid a lot of money to make. Right. The people were dying on those machines.
Right. Exactly. So it's a death sentence. If you get put on that machine and you have COVID, you're gone.
You just need oxygen. That's all you need. You just need oxygen, ivermectin, and the other good stuff.
They shut your body down and they just give you oxygen and it breathes and everything. It does everything for you. You literally go into a coma. So right before brother was gonna go in, we were gonna take him out of there. It was Yom Hamashi. and Yom Shishi was the next day. And so I was gonna go over there. We were trying to get a tank, an oxygen tank, to
they wouldn't let me check out unless I had an oxygen tank.
They wouldn't give him an oxygen tank to take home. So we were trying to get a tank and get a wheelchair or what is that, a fibrillator, or what is that?
Defibrillator.
A defibrillator. Yeah.
My wife bought one and brought it to me.
Yeah. So anyways, but that's when the witch doctor went in there and put him into a coma. Yeah. The day before we were going to take him out.
Yeah. And she come in there.
Yeah. And she told me that day, she goes, I said, my brother's doing good. He is not doing well. How can you say that? Don't say that. He's not doing well. I said, no, he's doing a lot better. No, he's not. You know, she was crazy. This is Hasatan wanted to take brother. Hasatan has his people just like Yahuwah has his people. Hasatan can use anybody who is not doing right ruling.
Right.
They don't have to be actually serving Hasatan. It can be anybody who is not doing right ruling. If you're not doing right ruling, you are open to Hasatan.
See, I haven't shown you the picture from the last video I made. This is the angel Caduceus. Okay, this is where the Hippocratical oath they vow to become a medical doctor. This is their oath. They make an oath to the Greek pagan deities. Okay, but this is the reality. The two snakes with the wings. Okay, this is the image. You notice it's on a vial, and there's venom. Okay, well, we found out there when they blood thin your blood, when they put blood thinners on you, it is the venom of a cobra. When they thicken your blood, it's the venom of a rattlesnake or a viper. Okay, so one snake will thicken your blood, one snake will thin your blood. And when that's why I told him, take me off blood thinners. I don't want, you got to be on it. So no, because I found out that that's what it is. That one snake venom, they're putting snake venom to blood thin your blood, or snake venom to thicken your blood if it's too thin, so they can do surgery. Okay, and this is the principality. This is the principality, right, of Mercury in the middle, the black and white one, and the one in the kind of beige. And here's a statue of him with what they call the Caduceus, the two-headed snake with the wings. And I made a video on this. Go back on my website and look on it, right? That it is not Moses. Christians in the medical field try to say that that image of the staff with the two snakes, or one snake and the wings, is Moses with medicine. No, that is pharmaceutica. That is pharmacy. And it's a spirit. You see the woman, you see where the wings of the two snakes, using the two venomous bites, okay, thinning and thickening your blood. They've been doing it since the days of Egypt. They've been using the venom for different things, right? Iodine, when you put iodine on wood, on your wound, on a cut, iodine is rattlesnake poison, diluted and used. It's good for the outer portion, but inside your body it'll kill you. But this is in front of a hospital where they trained them, right? This is the fallen one of pharmacy. Okay, just want to show you a picture. You could go back and watch my video on it. You could go back and watch my video on it, on that particular topic. Go back and look at it. It's a recent one. Before, I think I could be right after I came out, I did a video on it. It's pretty good. All right. So you go back and watch it. And I show all the documentation of pharmaceutica. It's in the book of Revelation. It says, in the last days, all nations will be deceived by her sorceries. And that word is pharmacy. So they got blinded, all the nations, and they put them under, and they're killing people that could come out. My wife and Sister Kimya, my whole family, people were praying all over the earth for me. There was a broadcast to Africa, Australia, China, everywhere. And people were fasting and praying for the Hashadan not kill me. Okay. And brothers coming there between work, falling asleep. I didn't care if he fell asleep. He was there. He was reading to me and falling, taking a nap and going back to work. Okay. And so that prayer pulled me out and saved me. And see, if I was in another state, our friend, Brother Mark Emerson in California, worked in the tunnels of the purple tunnels underneath Hollywood as a construction worker building the tunnels. He got COVID, okay? And he was locked in a room and died alone in a room.
Without his wife, without any of his family.
Come in the door. They see him through a glass. And they couldn't bring him back to life. How many people could have been brought back to life if their loved ones could come, even with a jumpsuit, and hold their hand, pray for them, speak into them, and they can hear the word. They can hear the word being spoken. He died in solitary confinement like a prisoner, right, in California laws, right? Brother Mark, right? It's horrible. He's a brother in Yahuwah. He knew Yahuwah. He knew the name. We're grateful for the Father for that. Okay, that he knew you and knew the name.
So that's why back in the day, just real quick,
people.
I'm sorry, brother. Just real quick, I was just going to say this. The world the system is so perverted now. Back in the day, there was actually real nurses who actually nursed people back to life.
Nurse means,
I mean, here's the deal. Today, basically, a nurse, an RN or whatever, shoves pharmakia, peels down your throat, and that's about it. They come in there with their little chart and they check off whatever they're supposed to give to you, and they give it to you and they leave. Back in the day, nurses used to nurse and nurture people back to health. Okay, it's not like
they just sit with them, hold their hand, want me to read a book to you,
right?
All that.
That's why they had women nurses. Men, okay, well, men don't really have the compassion like that that women have. That's why Yah gave the kids to the mother, for the mother to nurture them and to raise them up in that way, and gave man as a disciplinary. You know what I'm saying? And man is capable, of course, of loving his kids and all that too, his children. But nurturing, to be a nurse is a gift. It's a gift from Yahuwah that people who are compassionate and who will sit there with you with a person that they don't even know for hours and hours, and hold their hand and speak to them and pray for them. That's a gift. That's a gift. So these people that we have nowadays that are going to be RNs and all this other stuff, they're not real nurses, And so what do they do? What does Hasatan do? Hasatan enters the man to make a law that no one can go into the room and hold that person's hand and nurture them back to health. Okay, because a person's touch is very powerful. So they don't want you touching your loved ones. They want them to die.
Just like that story, the twins. 2 twins were born. They were incubators, and they said the little one that's really deformed is going to die. And the mother told the doctors, "Well, if he's going to die, can I put his brother in the incubator with him?" They said, "Well, he's going to die, but you can do it." And they put his brother in the incubator with him, and the little brother grabbed his little brother's hand, and the baby bounced off and lived.
Yeah.
The baby bounced out in a matter of days and lived and started eating, accepting the food and everything they're giving him, the formulas, right? Because he had touch. He had his brother with him, his twin brother, contact, okay? And when I used to go into the prisons and the hospitals when they had the AIDS first came out, and I was in New York in a tent meeting with Shambach, and we went into hospitals, and back then, nobody would touch somebody with AIDS. And not everybody with AIDS were homosexuals. There were dope fiends shooting needles in their arm. You know what I mean? They were not all homosexuals, so it didn't matter to me. I went into those AIDS hospitals, opened the door, let me in. I had to wear a mask and a drop suit. Don't touch them. I touched them anyway. I said, "Here, brother, I want to pray. We talk to you." And they were shocked. "You're touching me." Yeah, because you know why? Because the blood of the Messiah in me, he shed his blood, and I have rejuvenation blood in my veins. I am clean. I am healed. AIDS cannot come in me. It cannot touch me. It cannot come near me. It just stays away from me. So I don't fear it on you. Well, later on, 2 years later, we found out you don't get AIDS by contact touch. It's got to be a blood in the mouth or sexual or something else. Yeah. It's got to go orally in. So they realized later. But I didn't show no Hashatan Greek word fear. So I showed compassion, and those men were like lit up every time I come and read the word to them. Some lived, some died. And I told them, some of you are going to die for your sin. Some are going to get forgiven and live and get a second chance. Just don't go back to your crime of sin. And I would share that when I go into and this was like twice a week. I would go in, put the clean and put the garment, put the mask, and go in and minister to them, right? And I got testimonies after testimony of guys that came out of that hospital. One guy lived with AIDS and HIV for 5 years. And then finally they did a blood test. It disappeared from his body. Why? Because he had a blood transfusion of the Messiah. The healing virtue of the blood transfusion, that the DNA has been changed. That's why we're protected from everything in the water, food, and the air. All the corona and Lyme 19 times cannot affect us. I was telling some people the other day in my car, I was chauffeuring them around, and I said, you know when I first got corona? You know when I first got corona? I said, I got it in 1964. I got it the second time, 1976. I got it the third time, that flu comes every 10, 12 years. It comes. Your immune system will fight it. And if you live, you live. If you die, well, you're gone. You know what I mean? And they were kind of like, one guy was almost my age. He said, you know what? I remember, but I don't now. I remember more. You're right. He had it disguised as Mexican flu, bird flu, swine flu, pig flu, Mediterranean. I had the Mediterranean because I'm Middle Eastern. I caught Mediterranean in the 90s, got sick and got better, okay? I had corona on January, the year 2020. I got sick for 14 days, and I was messed up for 14 days, and it took me another week before I could work. And I nursed myself back. But then I went back to working hard again. A year later, it messed me up because I was really working. My wife and I were living in that yellow submarine. I call it the yellow submarine, the RV. Some of you saw pictures of me living in that, right? So my brother bought an RV. He was living right beside me, and he was helping me walk, everything else to bring me back. Okay, so that's a little bit of a testimony. And I thank you for your prayers, because I know all you girls and people were praying for me to come out of that hospital. You know what I mean? If I
Absolutely.
me out of that thing.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you. I can say it firsthand to you all, because I know my wife alerted everybody, brother alerted everybody to keep me in prayer and brought me out of that deathbed, you know. But I'm telling you right now, when that messenger said, you shall not die but live, and all four said it, and it echoed in me, I felt it. I felt it like electricity or urging power going through my body. Of course, when I woke up, you know.
Awesome.
Yeah, I felt that. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you. Tada, Eliyahu. Thank you for your testimony. It's beautiful. Made me cry.
All right, so we're going to close in prayer. Would you like to close in a Hebrew prayer to everybody?
Yes. I'm on.
Yes, yeah. Okay. We can go ahead and pray. Shema Israel, Yahuwah Eloheinu, Yahuwah Echad, V'ahavta Yahuwah Elohecha, Bechol levavecha v'chol nefshecha v'chol meodecha, v'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher Anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam beshebetecha, bebetecha, ubletecha baderek, ushubecha, uvkumecha, ukchartam leyota yadecha, v'hayu letotafot benenecha, וכתבתם המזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. והיה שמוע תשמעו מצוותי אשר אנוכי מצוויתם היום, לחבב את יהוה אלוהים אלוה הדול בכל לבביכם ובכל נפשכם. ונתתי מטר עצכם בתוירו מלקוש ואספת דגנך ותירושה בצריך, ונתתי שבשדך לבנתך, ואכלת וסבתם, יישארו לכם פן יפתה לבכם, וסרתם ועבדם אלוהים אחרים, באיש תהבתם לכם, בחרף יחווה בכם בצרת השמיים, ולא יהיה מטר ואדמה לא תיתן את שבולם, ועבדתם מרע מעל הארץ הטובה, אשר יחווה נותן לכם, פיסתם את דברי אלה, על לבבכם ועל נפשכם, וקשרתם אותם להיות ידיכם, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניהם, ולימדתם אותם את בניכם לדבר בם, בשבתך בביתך ולתך בדרך, ושכבך ובקומך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישריך, למען ירבו ימיכם וימי בניהם על האדמה, אשר נשבע יחווה לאבותיכם, לתת לכם כימי השמיים על הארץ. Father Yah, we give you great esteem, Father. We thank you for your Torah, Father. We thank you for the atoning blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, and we give you great esteem for this Shabbat. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, Father, I pray that everyone will have a Tov week, Father, and that you will bring everybody back again next Shabbat in order to celebrate your great day, your most important feast, and that is the Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Spread
Have
the word.
a Barakah week.